Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. How are you?
Good. Happy day after donut day.
It was quite a successful one. We had a lot of people come in, grab some donuts, and of course, if you went to your office, you probably saw a good batch yourself. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was a lovely treat.
It was very nice seeing people that we saw.
Yeah. So, let's jump into it because we have some announcements on loan limits today.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for 2024, conventional and VA loan limits have gone up. We were kind of looking at 726 for 2023. They are up to 766, 550. This is great as prices go up, housing prices go up, inflation goes up. We need these limits to adjust accordingly.
Yeah, and the FHA limit is up about 25,000 from 2023. And it's good to note that lenders are accepting these loan amounts now, even though it's not quite 2024 yet. So I think that's great news all around.
Yeah, and I do want to address one thing really quick. In Amador, Calaveras, we do go by the low-cost area floor, so we're typically around 498, 257. However, there are other counties, El Dorado, Placer, they are closer to the high-cost area, and the ceiling is over $1 million. So you can do FHA for those expensive houses in those kinds of areas as well. But let's dig into the meat and potatoes everyone is very interested in. How are the rates looking, Dale?
Well, they seem to be a little bit on a downward trend, and that's good news all around. We were sitting almost 8 a month or two ago, and they've come back about 0.5%. So that's really great news.
Yeah, and we are seeing kind of a sharp decline right here, which is good to see. But I actually want to take a time machine back to about a year ago at this time. And what's really interesting, I don't know if you've noticed this, Dale, but the market seems much healthier now, even though the interest rate climate is technically worse than it was about a year ago.
Yeah, it takes some time to normalize from the shock. And if you will, if you look at this history, 2 years ago, we were sitting at 3.5% on a 30-year loan. And in the span of a year, it basically doubled. And so when you have that kind of thing happen, it's just a whole shock to the system. But it's taken some time. It's more normalizing now. So that's a good thing. And the decrease in rates, that's an even better thing.
Yeah, so we're hoping these decreases in rates continue. Obviously, that would be great. But here, we always have to harp on this in this time. How home prices are still going up. Granted, we only have a little bit of data for October, but we are expecting October to be a net gain in appreciation. November and December, the story could change a little bit. But one thing I want to bring up, Dale, if we go back to that 2-year history and we say somebody who bought last year around this time, they might have had a decently high interest rate, but you can see back in January 2023 and before, housing prices did take a little bit of a plunge, very small plunge. So now they are the buyers who bought low, and they're going to either refinance or sell when their house is much higher.
Right.
So,
you think about it, some pure math. If you bought a $400,000 house a year ago, based on the approximate appreciation of the market, that house is now worth about $430,000. So you gained about $30,000 in equity.
Yep. And you get to take advantage of the refinance when the time comes. So very important.
Right.
I want to bring up these news articles to you, Dale, because I find them very, very light-giving for next year. Take a look at this. Fed officials hint that rate increases are over and investors celebrate. In fact, that's why we've seen the decrease that we've seen in rates thus far.
Yep. Yeah.
Bond investors are thinking 2024, we're going to have cuts in the interest rate. But this is my favorite one. Again, it's opinion. It's not a fact, but this brings a lot of hope to me. The Federal Reserve will cut interest rates 6 times in 2024 as the economy shows clear signs of cooling down. That is huge news and makes me really hopeful. I know it's an opinion. It's not a fact, but I sure hope it's right.
Oh, yeah. Well, having done this as long as I have, about 30 years now, I honestly cannot remember at any time when the Fed announced how many times in a year they were going to cut rates. So this is new territory.
Yeah, and hopefully it means good things for the economy. It means good things for the housing market, but also it brings up the idea of when to refinance, and you want to be able to ride the wave. Dale, you've seen refinance booms in the past. Tell us about what it means to refinance and when to refinance.
Well, you have to go on your best guess theory, because how low will rates go? When will you hit the bottom? That's really unpredictable and nobody knows. But if rates are going from 7 to 6.5 to 6 to 5.5 to 5 over, say, a span of a year, why would you refinance at 6 if 6 months later you can do it at 5? Now, granted, we're not going to know the timing, but you have to give it your best effort, your best thought, but you don't want to just jump on the wave right away, because you might miss the rest of it.
And there are two ways you can look at this to determine whether or not you should be riding the wave. The first is 6 payments. A lot of times, many refinances require that you have made 6 payments for your home's value to fully unlock its potential. In addition to that, we also want to take a look, and maybe that article is right. Maybe the Federal Reserve is going to lower rates 6 times next year. If that's the case, why would you refinance on the first few times they lower their rates?
Right.
So go ahead and wait.
Well, it costs money every time you refinance, and you just don't want to throw good money after bad. And back to the 6-month and unlocking your potential, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac state very clearly the value of your home is what you paid for it for the first 6 months. So
first 6 payments.
Per 6 payments, excuse me. So even if you inherit a house from Uncle Joe for $200,000 and it's really $1 million house, if you only paid $200 for it for the first 6 payments, it's only worth $200.
So really important. And that ultimately brings it to, if you don't know when, give us a call and we can talk through it, look at the pros, cons, benefits, where the market's at, what your house is looking at, and we can help you make that determination. We don't have the crystal ball, but we can help make the determination for you.
Absolutely. We'll run all kinds of scenarios. We'll look at different rates, see what makes the most sense. I remember the last refi boom we had, I was putting people in 20-year loans from their 30-year loan at the same or lower interest rate, knocking years off their payments, knocking thousands off their payments. So
yeah. All right, Dale, that about wraps it up. A lot of content here, a lot of things probably stirred up in people's mind. Again, if you have questions, email us, give us a call. We'd love to answer them and help you out.
Absolutely. And I do have to say, Yoda likes Krispy Kreme donuts.
Well, hopefully he lives through another donut day. All right. Thank you, Dale. I hope you have a good one.
Have a good one.
Okay, bye.